A lot happened. I went to, now for the dowry negotiation.
Yes.
The dad refused me to go to their home. We met in a hotel that is a kilometer away from their house.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you. Well, some tissue, please.
Yes. Oh, you guys.
So,
You're too cute.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good
So
one.
the hotel was like a kilometer away from their home, so he refused us to do the. I already saw there's a problem there, and then he requested me to construct a bungalow in Kampala. Yeah.
Oh.
Not a house.
A bungalow in Kampala.
Bugolobi. I don't know
Whoa.
if Bugolobi is equivalent to Karen.
Okay.
Yeah. So he asked me to buy a property, build a bungalow. Then after I do that, now we can talk about the daughter.
So after some years, he started inviting me to his meetings again. So, but in my mind, I knew that this guy is already married, or maybe if he's not married, he's in a relationship.
Yeah.
So he insisted so much. And I said, you just come, and then I would prepare, dress up, but Nafil,
You wouldn't
not
have the
going.
energy. Or rather,
I don't want to go.
You don't want to go. Yeah.
And she failed me several times.
So many times, actually.
Something good must be.
Yeah.
And
So on the last time, he invited me, and he was launching a ministry in Thika. On that day, I decided, okay, I will go. Then I dressed up. I remember mapema. And then I felt I'm not going.
Yes.
So after some time, and then I encouraged myself, and then I told myself, why is it that every time I want to go, and I feel too, I don't want to go. So on that day, I decided I will go. So I went.
Good evening, welcome to The Nest. I'm your host, Maureen Waititu, and here we discuss all topics about real individuals. And tonight's topic is quite exciting. We are talking about dating as a pastor and disappointments that come with it. And in this particular instance, how our guest overcame the biggest hurdle of his life, thinking this is it, and it didn't happen, losing everything, and finally finding the love of his life, who has been by his side all this time. And goodness me, they are such a beautiful couple. But before we meet them, kindly watch this short video and we'll be right back.
Courting is when a man seeks the affection of a woman, usually with the hopes of marrying the woman. It is also a period in a romantic couple's relationship when they purposely get to know each other. The difference between courting and dating is that in dating, there could be no emotions involved, therefore one would date a number of people. But in courtship, the end goal is to have a long-term relationship, therefore one person at a time. There are different stages of courting. The initial meeting attraction stage, then the curiosity, interest, and infatuation, followed by enlightenment and becoming a couple, then commitment or engagement. The very purpose of courtship is to understand what romance and commitment looks like with another person. It is continually looking for ways to express affection and gain the affection of another. During courtship, there can be several hurdles to be overcome by the couple. For starters, decide what is best for the two of you. Communicate constantly and effectively. Be confident in whatever decision you make and stick to it despite societal pressure. There are 44 tribes in Kenya, and unfortunate as this may sound, tribe can be a factor in determining who to and not to marry. There are relationships that have ended simply because parents or relatives were opposed to it due to the tribe factor. Marrying from a different tribe can be really difficult. However, most couples have been able to overcome this hurdle and remain resilient in their love. On the show today, we go through some of the difficulties during active courtship and the triumph of most relationships.
Welcome back. Once again, we always have the most exciting guests, and my favorite is always a couple, because a couple are two people who are united to share with you about their experiences, and today is no different. We have Pastor Bruce and Pastor Rahab, who are married, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we can hear about their love story of disappointments and how it is really to date as a pastor and to be married as a pastor, which is usually the easier part. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Thank you so much for coming on board.
Thank you
on
very
the Nest today. You guys are such a handsome couple.
Thank
Munakaa tu poa.
Thank you.
Yes, so maybe we can start with you, Rehab. You can introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
My name is Rehab Mckenzie. I am born again, filled with the Holy Spirit, married to this handsome man, Bruce Mckenzie.
Yes.
And that's basically me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, I'm Pastor Bruce Mckenzie. Our church, our ministry is called Word Encounter Ministries.
Word Encounter Ministries.
Yeah,
Okay.
based in Thika. And this is my lovely wife,
Yes.
Mrs. Mckenzie. Yeah, and we are so excited. Apart from being a pastor, I'm also in business. I'm in the film industry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and God is good. So apart from preaching, there's also working.
He really is good.
Yeah.
And it's a good balance to serve your purpose on earth.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be one.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow. So, looking at you too, and I can see why, you saw the sparks and everything.
Yeah.
I want to assume that you saw her
Yeah.
and you knew
Yeah.
this is it. How was your dating life like before you met your wife? And then how did you meet her?
Yeah.
And what came to you when you knew it was her?
Wow, my dating life.
Yes.
You know, when you stay in this world for a particular period of time,
Yes.
there are many experiences you go through,
Yes.
especially as a man.
Yes.
And not just a man, but a man of God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my dating life has been very interesting. Before I married her, I tried dating before.
Okay.
And of course, through that, there are many experiences I went through. I had even a planned wedding, it failed. The first time, she usually looks at me and tells me, what if you marry that lady?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had a very hectic period before I met her.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I would say is the enemy fights marriages. There are two things he fights, getting born again
Yes.
and marriages.
I agree.
If you miss out on these two things, then life is going to be so hard. And I think for me, I just missed by a whisk.
Yes.
It was just, I missed by a whisk. So I had
It's
already
true.
planned a wedding, everything.
Yes.
But then the lady backed out
Okay.
the last minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
And were you already in the ministry when this was happening?
I was already in the ministry. In fact, the shocking part about this thing is
Yes.
I met this lady in Tanzania. We were preaching. We were winning souls.
Yes.
And I looked at her, and
Yes.
of course, as
Yes.
it is said,
Yes.
men believe by sight
Yes.
and not by faith.
Correct.
I saw her, I told her my intentions, and then we began our journey. And she was coming from Uganda, so I remember we had to go back now to Uganda after some time, do an introduction and all
Right,
that.
right.
Everything flopped.
Yes.
Everything.
And I'm sure we'll talk about that in
Definitely,
detail as
definitely.
we tackle the pressure, the
That is
societal
true.
pressure
Exactly.
of dating as a pastor. I've
Exactly.
always been curious. I have many questions
Yeah.
about that. So for you, Rehab, how was dating before you met your husband?
It was so hectic
Yes.
and tricky.
Right.
Because as a woman, you have this goal, you know where you're going, and you really want to know this guy, what is his vision. So I met with Sam, and they were pastors too, actually.
Yes.
And
Was it something you wanted and you said, dear Lord, this is my list, pastor or a God-fearing man, and there's nothing wrong with that. So was it your desire to, or was it where you found yourself?
actually, it was not my desire. I found myself in it. But my mom was, I will say she was a pillar in many ministries.
Yes.
And she used to tell me, Rehab, you'll get married to a pastor. And then I'm telling her, Mom, I cannot get married to a pastor. You're
Right.
telling me that because
yes.
you work with so many pastors.
Yes.
So, but she used to tell me, I know you'll get married to a pastor.
Yes.
So I had a hint.
Yes.
So many pastors approached me.
Yes.
I will say that.
Yes.
But sometimes you'll listen to them because I really wanted to know where this man heading. I want to know the vision. So mtu mwingine anakuambia ati my vision is buying
A church
What was
van.
it? A
Was it?
church van. So you're like, my God, to me this is a goal. No, this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I never used to turn them down like you make them. I did not crush their ego.
Yes,
eh?
yes, yes,
I will tell them that your vision is too big for me. I cannot even fit in there, you know. I never crushed their ego.
Gracious woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my dating experience
Yes.
until I met him,
Right.
and I saw that I could perfectly
Yes.
fit in his vision. I found my place in the
And you
vision.
found your place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're going to hear more about that.
Yeah.
So for you, Pastor Bruce.
Yeah.
In the ministry, and when you got into the ministry.
Yeah.
And definitely you have your desire
Yeah.
to settle down one
Yeah.
day, and you have to do it in a certain way.
Yeah.
How is it like dating as a young pastor? Not
Yeah.
just any pastor, but as a young pastor.
What? I would say it is one of the most hardest things.
Tell us more.
Yeah, young pastors go through, and in fact, it cost me to have a burden for young ministers
Right.
because most of them end up struggling and even fall into sexual immorality and all those things.
true.
I would say for me it was a bit challenging, very, very challenging because you are there, you love God so much.
Yes.
You have everything
Yes.
maybe sisters are looking for, and you are at the forefront. You're this man they are praying for, and they even start doing favors for you. And you know, you now have to distinguish
Right.
between ministry and miniskirts. You know,
Editor, make sure we catch that.
okay, no.
Ministry and minister.
you have to distinguish. So I
Yes,
think what helped me a lot
Yes.
is I made a principle.
Okay.
I told myself as a pastor, number one,
Yes.
I will not seduce
Yes.
the sisters I preach to.
Yes.
I made a very pure line.
Okay.
My wife now, she has been in my ministry for more than 8 years.
Whoa.
She used to be in my ministry
I used
even
to
when I
be
was
there.
even when I was single and you know, just she used to. So she can tell you would come to the ministry after I finished preaching. I have no other business with guys.
Yes.
And another thing I did to myself is I started staying far from where I preach. Because I remember there was a time a lady called me at 2 a.m. Told me, Pastor, I've been chased out of the house. So can you please host me for tonight? So you can imagine such temptations.
Yes.
But I had seen it earlier.
Yes.
So I decided to stay a place where if you want to come at my place, you need to take like 3 months. So it made it a lot impossible for
Yes.
many young people
Yes,
to
yes.
come at my place.
Yes.
So first of all, I think I just made sure that there is no that compromising space.
Very good.
Yeah, but dating being single as a pastor is not a very simple thing.
Okay.
It takes a lot of grace, and then you have to make a personal initiative.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
to decide that I'm going to live straight.
Yes.
And I tell guys most of the time, you cannot. There's no provision for girlfriends and boyfriends in the Bible. It's only wives and husbands.
husbands.
So I told myself, the first lady I would date,
Yes.
I'm taking her to the altar.
Yes.
In fact, in our first date, I'm not going to tell her, oh, at this. I'll just tell her.
These are my intentions.
These are my
Yes.
and I would love to be your husband. I would love you to be the mother of my children. And it helped me a lot.
Yes, because
yeah,
yes.
it caused those that were not serious. Because there are many,
follow?
there are many. You'll find there are many ladies they really want marriage. I mean, they just want a relationship, but not necessarily
Yes.
marriage.
Yes.
Or guys feel lonely, so they
Yes.
just want someone they can spend time with,
Yes.
but not necessarily marriage.
Right.
But I told myself that for me, if I get into this thing, I'm gonna marry. So
Yes.
it helped me a lot.
You made
Apart
it
from the
very
mistakes
clear.
I did as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we all err. And
Yeah.
that's why there's forgiveness
Yeah.
in the first place.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing a lot of intentionality
Yeah.
and removing what would make you stumble.
Exactly.
The sin.
Yeah.
That will, and you strategically placed yourself in
Yeah.
a place whereby,
Yeah.
yes, in as much as you may have been 3 months away, there's still beautiful ladies in your area
Of
who are
course.
seeing this
Yeah.
tall, dark and handsome man.
Yeah.
Very white teeth. And then he's a pastor.
Yeah.
And there came along Miss Rahab.
Rahab, I'm telling you, the woman who Shanda. Hey. Now, so this is our story actually.
Yes.
Rahab used to come to my ministry frequently for like 4 years.
Wow.
Then we lost touch for some 2-3 years. I can't remember the exact time.
Yeah, I think so. But God made sure that we had some memories of each other, yani.
Yeah. Because I remember the first time when she was coming frequently, the first time, I went to my friend who was a tailor. So he made for me a suit. He also made for her an African wear. So the guy tells her, I used to go to Sitam those days. He tells her, come to Sitam after church, we'll have a photo shoot of my outfit.
Actually, we know each other, but we don't know we have gone to the same tailor.
Yeah.
And we actually don't know that we are meeting on that particular day.
So that nobody can say no. Yeah. So was it when the photo shoot?
Yes.
And you know, in the photo shoot, the guy insists we need to be close.
Yeah.
Nimeshonesha vitenge. Yeah. I'm telling you.
And we'll bring these two people
together. So I remember we took those photos, and it was quite an amazing thing. Now, later on, the guy sent me the photos, so I was to forward the photos to her.
Actually.
Yeah? Then I told her, I'm not forwarding you all these photos.
Imagine.
The ones that we are too close, I can't forward.
Imagine he did it. And I noticed later on that it is very important to be sensitive in the spirit, because that was God talking.
Wow.
But for us, because we have that ideal man and ideal woman in our minds, we're like, no way.
No. Because do you know we lost touch actually after that period? That's when we actually lost touch. But she had requested for the photos, so I was telling her I'm not sending all of them. The ones we were too close, I'm a pastor. I don't want people to have a wrong impression. So I ended up sending her only few photos from that.
The ones who were far away from each other.
Yeah, social distancing. Yeah, it was way before COVID. They found us.
Right.
Yeah.
And deep down, I'm hoping that tailor still makes this beautiful outfit.
Not really, but we are still friends. Yeah, we are still friends. So
ulimpeka ng'ombe kamoja at least.
Of course tulimjenga kidogo, nilimwambia Buddha, God amekutumia vibaya sana.
That is so amazing.
So after that, I think you know later on is when tulianza kukumbushana hizi story. So we now lost touch for some time. Then I was launching now my ministry in Thika Town.
After we lost touch, it's when you wanted now to get married to the Ugandan lady.
Exactly. So now after we lost touch, mimi mazeni life nimeanza kuendelea na life, nimeona ka pointi mahali, nime decide tuzidi. So in fact she even because I proposed to that lady.
Oh my goodness.
I proposed to that lady after the hub too. The hub was still new. Hapo katikati. So it was quite a big thing. And that is why it really broke my heart. It really broke my heart. So I as I told you, I met her in UG, I mean TZ. So tumemaliza ministry, nikamuona, nikaanza, I started hitting on her. Of course she says yes, but I see a lot of red flags and assume.
Don't we all do that?
We do
because
that.
We forget,
apart
from you getting into that, you're also in love.
That is true.
And love indeed can be blind. If done in a way that, but then God has a way of doing his own things. Yes.
So, you see red flags, you see, like, I noticed a lot of things. Well, I was, I'm a pastor, and that's something I do passionately. I love preaching, I love winning souls, and I would have preferred a wife that is prayerful, a wife that loved ministry. So this girl never loved prayer, never loved going to church. I had to push her. And I was saying I'll change.
Imagine all those red flags.
Oh, you might clear ones.
Yeah, they were very clear.
And he's saying he can change her.
That's the mistake.
Na hiyo ndio mistake watu wengi wanafanya. Unapata kwa relationship unaona vitu haziko poa, but unasema I'll change. Ama una feel I came to realize every person deep within their hearts, they always know that this person is not meant for me.
Of course.
True.
But then they won't give in.
They won't give in.
And they won't give up.
Exactly.
So you're in this situation. which we call in the streets toxic.
That is
They
true.
won't treat you right, but they won't
Yeah.
let you go.
Unfortunately, I did a huge investment in that lady's life. I spent so much money.
It's okay, it's fortunate God used you.
Yeah, he
No,
used me.
it's true because,
Definitely.
you know, you can imagine later on, and
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of letting God work
Yeah.
at his own time.
That is true.
There's no way on earth
Yeah.
she would never look back and say, oh my.
Yeah.
And of course, you never know how many lives she will touch
Yeah,
through your mission.
that is true.
Yes.
Yeah, because
So,
I think
yes,
also the
yes.
biggest, I like saying that the what I take out of
Yes,
negative
yes,
situations
yes.
is the lessons,
Exactly.
not necessarily the badness of the
Turning the
situation.
mess into a message.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think we had our time with
Yes,
her.
yes.
A lot happened. I went to now for the dowry negotiation.
Yes.
The dad refused me to go to their home. We met in a hotel that is a kilometer away from their house.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, some tissue,
Look at
please.
that. Yes. Oh, you guys.
So-
You're too cute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good
So
one.
the hotel was like a kilometer away from their home, so he refused us to do the. I already saw there's a problem there, and then he requested me to construct a bungalow in Kampala. Yeah,
Oh.
not a
Champala.
house.
A bungalow in Champala.
Bugolobi. I don't know
Oh,
if Bugolobi is equivalent to Karen.
Okay.
Yeah. So he asked me to buy a property, build a bungalow. Then after I do that, now we can talk about the daughter. Then I think he also told me to stop preaching. I stopped being a pastor and a man of God. Number 3, he told me to marry in Anglican, which I had no issue. I'm from a family that has a background of Anglican. I had no issue with that. But if you tell me to stop preaching the gospel, then you're getting into my personal space.
Absolutely.
I'm not marrying you. I'm marrying your daughter.
Yes.
It's going to be me and her.
Yes.
You get?
Yes.
So those demands, I couldn't just, submit to them.
Right.
And another red flag that I didn't see, tumekuja introduction kwa kina dem. Dem amebaki Kampala. Ayuko na mimi ni nani? Mapenzi. Aki ya nani?
Mapenzi wewe.
It makes us do the silliest of
Yeah, the
things.
silliest of things.
Yes, but
yeah.
looking back,
Yeah.
and this is where, again,
Yeah.
we keep it very real.
Yeah,
And even now, there's
Yes.
so many people stuck in very ridiculous
that's true.
relationships.
Yeah.
Very ridiculous people. But because of this notion,
Yeah.
this must be it. This should be it.
Yeah.
And look at you. You were in a position to make to have a huge level of discernment.
Yeah.
But you still fell
Yeah.
into this path.
That's true.
But I want to believe it made you the man you are today.
Definitely.
Yes.
It made me more stronger.
Yes.
In fact, pastors, there are pastors who called me, my pastors then at CITA. And I can't be ashamed to mention their names. We
Yes.
have Pastor Njue.
Yes.
He called me. Akaniambia, Bruce, are you sure about this thing? Are you really sure about these
Oh
things?
my.
And since me, I had said I want to make my choice.
Yes.
My
Yes.
choice is mine, and nobody's gonna
Yes.
change.
Yes.
I kept saying, it's okay. I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I later on came to realize it's
You're not
important also. I'm wrong, and it's important also to respect
That's the thing.
guys that have gone ahead of you.
Yes,
They
yes,
see
yes,
far than
yes,
you.
Yes, and also a teachable
Yeah,
attitude.
yeah.
Right. So we won't dwell on this lady.
Pardon?
We will not dwell on this lady.
Yeah, sure.
Who broke your heart.
Yeah.
But fortunately, now we are on the fortunate part.
Fortunate
Yes.
part, yeah.
Look at
I
this.
met her. In
met-
fact, please allow me just to mention some
sure.
few things
Yes, yes,
about
yes.
that.
Yes.
We had planned a wedding already. We had a wedding date and everything was set.
No.
She refused to come for premarital classes.
No.
That is when I knew things are bad.
Now
So
this
I
on the
cancelled.
banner.
Yeah.
Not a flag. Red banner.
So
Yes.
after tumetoka introduction, I'm
Yes.
back to Kampala. I
Yes.
tell her,
Yes.
we gotta work on this thing, 2 of us. She told me it's okay, and all that. Then I decided to go. I was ministering somewhere within Kampala.
Yes.
So I finished ministering. Then I called her. She didn't pick my call. The following day, she didn't pick. 3 months, she didn't pick. I was calling every day. That is when I gave up on her completely and decided to move forward and knew that God has saved me.
And indeed,
He
did.
had.
He
Yeah.
dodged a bullet.
A canon.
Yeah.
That's a canon.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a
And
canon.
then now,
Yes.
this lady now comes in the picture.
Now let's hear from Rahab.
Of course, definitely.
Here,
Yeah.
from a woman's perspective,
Okay.
and you settling down, because your husband is so clear that he wanted a wife, even when there was a neon sign, no, do not do it, stop.
Yeah.
And if that lady didn't disappear, maybe we would be speaking of a different story.
Yeah.
But so you insist on these photos.
Yeah.
This man refuses to send them that you're standing too close. I'm sure you do TBTs.
Yeah.
And you're like,
You refuse, my
Here you
friend.
are, right.
You are closer now.
right. So how did you reconnect?
So after some years, he started inviting me to his meetings again. So, but in my mind, I knew that this guy is already married, or
Yeah.
maybe
Yes.
if he's not married,
Yes.
he's in a relationship.
Yeah.
So he insisted so much. And I miss you, just come, and then I would prepare, dress up, but I feel
You wouldn't
I'm
have
not
the
going.
energy, or rather
I don't want to go.
You don't want to go. Yeah.
And she failed me several times.
so many times actually. So
Something good must be here.
Yeah.
And
So on the
Yes.
last time,
Yes.
he invited me, and he was launching a ministry in Thika. On that day, I decided, okay, I will go. Then I dress up. I remember niko mapema. And then I felt I'm not going.
Yes.
So after some time, and then I encouraged myself, and then I told myself, why is it that every time I want to go,
yeah.
and I feel too, I don't want to go. So on that day, I decided I will go. So I went, and nikafika. He launched the ministry. He taught about love. And after that, I didn't even greet him. I didn't even say hi.
Yeah. You
I
left.
went out.
Yes.
So after that is when he called me, and he told me we should go out for a coffee. And it was a picture that I posted on Facebook. Nasemanga hiyo picture ilikuwa imesikia Mungu, you know?
I tell sisters, don't just sit there.
Yes.
Post some nice photo.
Yes.
It might trigger someone.
You never know.
You never know.
Especially now with COVID times.
Yeah.
You need to stay inside.
Yeah.
Dress up. Go to your living room.
Yes.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
Post it there.
Kabisa.
You never
You
know.
never know.
You never know.
Eh.
And I'm going to put a pause on that
Yeah.
as we tumeze mate,
Okay.
kunywe maji,
Okay.
and take a short break.
Okay.
Please, I really want to hear this love story, which came, almost escaped, came back, and what was going through your mind, so that we can learn about how to know and discern, and again, honestly, know the other one,
Yeah. Okay.
especially from a spiritual perspective.
Yeah.
So guys, again, do not touch that dial. We'll be right back. And we're going to talk more about how this couple, who are both pastors, fell in love, and how they are doing now, and all the challenges they went through during that time. In case you are just joining us, we have a beautiful couple on set today. Pastor Bruce, Pastor Rehab, who also happen to be married to each other and doing the ministry, and is also educating and giving hope to young couples and young people who are in dire need of education, which leads to wisdom on applied knowledge. You get me? So we learn. And once again, Rehab, we were talking about, you know, reconnection.
Yes.
Reconnection. So, and you show up, finally you disappear, he calls you, and you put this Facebook photo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I posted this Facebook photo.
Yes.
And he inboxed me. And it's something that he never does.
Yes.
Even if you post words.
He would never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he inboxed me, and he told me, can we just meet for a cup of coffee?
Yes.
And I agreed.
Yes.
But at that time, to my shock, I found him in a very, very crucial
moment. It was when I was dating her, when I had invited her for this coffee.
Yes.
That year, I had lost a huge amount of money, all my savings, everything, and it was immediately after the failed marriage. Yeah, so I don't know if they were. I sometimes come to think they were the ripple effect of that relationship or something. I had lost all my savings. Somebody came and conned me. And I was in a bad place.
dear.
I had no cash, nothing.
Yes.
And I'm here telling this chick,
Yeah.
you come for a cup of coffee. First of all, she thought it's Java.
Yeah.
Nilipeleka wapi?
Sasa sina hata bob, sina. Yani, hey.
no.
Those are the days nakumbuka. In that even season kuna time umefika tao, mat ni 80 bob, uko na 70 bob. There's a time I borrowed 10 bob during that season. So that's also a whole other story that God had to make sure I went through.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and God had to make sure that when she comes in my life, I have nothing.
Honestly,
We start from
it's
scratch.
true. It's true, and it's not like you know, say this thing, they say build with this person and all that. Sometimes you build with them, they run away.
They run away.
So true.
It's that aspect of you were stripped.
That is true.
And she had to meet the real you.
That is true.
And that's when the real you is accepted by her.
That is true.
Then you can build together.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even your intention. It was God's
Honestly,
intention.
Yeah, amen.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, it was God's intention.
Yes.
Because for him, he never used to take offerings. He never used to allow people to pay for the hall. He used to do everything by himself.
I had the money to do that.
Yes.
And I think what I came to learn later is you can't help God. No
And you're
matter how
denying
much-
people their blessings,
no matter how much
Thank you,
money
because
have.
because ideally that's why it's an offering. That's
Yeah.
why it's
Yeah.
a tithe.
Yeah.
True.
So it was part of the reasons I lost even the whole money,
Yes.
because out of that losing money, I had to close my ministry in Rongai. Thika was now struggling. It was so bad. And then this lady now, I mean, I just feel something for her.
Yes.
And I tell her, let's meet.
Yes.
Now, miraculously, I had other guys at home.
Yes.
You know, I'm a pastor, so guys will come visit.
Yes.
I had my brother was around, I think, and some other church members.
Yes.
So when she told me, where are we meeting for that coffee? I told her, you come at my place. I can't dare to go out. I mean,
He doesn't even have the fare.
I didn't even have the fare to take me from my house.
Oh my.
So I invited her, and graciously she accepted. No, she told me, Pasi, are you sure guys are there?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I told her, yeah, guys are here. I mean,
Yes.
you know me, I can't do some things.
Absolutely.
And I think that is when she accepted to come. So
Yes.
say anaweza waambia sasa nini ilihappened vile alifika.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you go home.
Yeah.
Yani, you showed up. But the guys at home, don't show up at their houses. Like, don't
That
show
is
up
true.
at a person's
Don't.
house.
I mean, I
Yes.
don't encourage that.
It's true,
Yeah.
especially on a first date.
Yeah.
But then again, I can see everyone has a beautiful story.
Yeah,
And
so
this is
true.
your beautiful story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be even more amazing afterwards.
Yeah.
So you get to this man's house.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So God had to always, me always tell him that
Yes.
God had always to make sure there are people in his house because he was going through a very tough time.
time.
Right.
And
I had
kama
been hit
angekuwa
twice,
peke
no?
Oh,
yake,
yes, that's right. Heartbroken, and then you lose everything.
Yeah.
Basically, Job's story.
Yeah.
True.
So kama angekuwa peke yake, it would have led to depression
Yes.
or even bad thoughts,
Yes.
suicidal thoughts
Yes.
and all that.
Yes.
So I always tell him there was a reason why God brought so many people in his house at that particular
Yes.
time.
Yes.
So I agreed and I went there. I found this guy ameng'ara.
Hakuwa shy niona
Yeah.
na bling bling.
Hey.
Hiyo siku nakwambia. Unajua people think pastors are too spiritual.
Yeah. Lazima kuwe na swag.
Lazima kidogo kidogo unatesa lakini sina kitu.
No, anyway, we say, again, in the street they say fake
Yeah.
it or make it. But in a spiritual world and in my own words, I
Yeah.
say, until the next blessing comes,
Yeah.
praise him in the hallway.
That is true.
And it means carrying yourself
Yeah.
with gratitude.
That
You're
is true.
telling God, this is me. I
Yeah.
can handle what's
You
coming.
remain positive.
Right. All right. So you go, you meet him, and at what point is this now going to be, okay, we're going to settle down, we're going to be husband and wife?
Okay.
Yes.
So I met him. We sat outside. And I told him, okay, he told me his intentions. He was very straightforward, as in, hakuwa na waste time. So I told him, please,
Jamini.
I really want to know your vision. Where are
Yes.
you heading to?
Yes.
And I think that is one thing that so many ladies wanafaa kujua.
It's
You
true.
don't just run to a man because when one in the streets, ama he's driving and all that. First, know where this guy is going to.
True.
Know his intentions, because wengine wanaanza relationship, they don't even know the intentions of that person in their lives. Others are being used because they don't know the intentions of that guy, and they're just assuming that this guy loves me, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know where is this guy heading? So he told me his vision,
Yes.
which he has never finished.
I
It's
told,
okay.
I
Leo.
told her my vision for
Yes.
a total of 6 hours.
Yes.
I was telling her what, hey, it was big. 6 hours.
And you know, at his house, there was nothing to drink.
Yeah.
Hata maji sikupewa, you know.
Yeah, my fridge was wonderful.
Grace.
It had
was
nothing.
fast.
Yes. Grace.
Yeah.
Grace. Yes.
But I always knew that we will face it till we
Yes.
make it. You know?
Absolutely.
I offered her nothing, even water.
Oh.
I didn't have anything to offer her
my.
at that moment,
Yeah.
but she kept listening. Then, of course, I think after we had that day, she told me, I'm going to answer you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay. Did you answer? And
So,
what? Did you do it?
I thought about it actually.
Yes.
And you know, according to what he was telling me, unaona huyu mtu anaenda mbali. And really, okay, and then I remembered, my mom used to tell me, kumbe, this is the guy now. And now I decided, I found my place in the vision, and I decided, okay, why not? Let me
Yeah.
give it a try.
Okay.
That was the most exciting news I ever had in my life,
Right.
especially at that moment.
At that moment,
Yeah,
because you think, and I
Yeah.
can see a huge operation of faith,
yeah,
and knowing that for sure, you're where you are,
yeah,
and you had faith
That
about
is
where
true.
you were going.
yeah.
Right. So, parents, how was that for both of you? The introduction of telling your parents or your guidance, guardians or whoever was in charge. Should we let maybe yes,
ladies
yeah, maybe you
first.
can go first.
So the first thing we did, we went to his place. But at first, he had called home and he said he has found a woman, and she's a Kikuyu lady. And then I had
Kikuyu stroke.
Bruce. Yeah,
Hey.
I'm from Cumberland.
Yes.
But my father was a Kikuyu.
Yes.
My mother was a Kamba.
Yes.
We'll say that.
Yes.
So they said, "Ay, from that place, you know, watu wengi wamebeba Kikuyus like watu
Yeah, yeah.
pesa, you know."
Yeah, I think there's just
Everything
profiling,
Visha.
and it was very tough.
Yeah.
It took me, in fact, I didn't even tell. It took me some time to convince my
Oh,
parents
of course.
that I mean, there's no issue with marrying
A Kikuyu girl.
a Kikuyu girl.
They were
Not-
agreeing for you to marry a Ugandan girl from across the
Imagine.
border.
Yeah,
But
and
this- yes,
yeah, and
yes.
you know, I thank God for my brothers, my siblings.
right.
They were telling, and also my mom. She told my dad, you see, I mean, let this boy do what he wants.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What makes him happy?
And what makes him happy. And
Yes.
if God is in this,
Yes.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
And for me, for the longest time, I've been a person who I hate tribalism. I love bringing people together.
Yes,
in
yes,
fact,
yes.
to many people who have been with me,
Yes.
it took long for them to know where I come from.
It's true.
Yeah.
I can't even tell
Yeah.
even now until
Even with the
yes,
names.
Yes.
I mean, people were wondering, Bruce, are you from Uganda? Are you from SA? Are you from, are you a Luo? Are you a Luya? Guys are not, and I like it that
Yes,
way.
oh, yes, oh,
Because
yes.
there's, when we come together, in diversity, then the great things do happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so my parents later on, my dad agreed,
Yes.
and that is where the journey began. That is when now I organized, we went now to our place.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how was it for you?
So I went and told my grandmother, she's the one that she's alive, with my auntie. So at first I told my grandmother, and okay, she said, that's good, that's great. And where does this guy come from? I told her, this guy comes from Western.
Yes.
Where? She told me, wewe utakuliwa. Unajua hao watu
There's
wanakulanga
a
wapi?
myth, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
You'll be taken to the
Cannibalism.
butcher, you know.
Yes. Yes.
I told her, no, he's born again, he's a pastor.
Yes.
And actually, even the ones that are not born again,
Yes.
I have never heard of that.
True.
So, and I noticed that so many people are inheriting enemies
Yes,
from
yes.
their parents, you
It's
know,
true,
and you
it's
know
true.
nothing about
It's
it.
true, by the way.
So she refused at first. So I went and told my auntie, and my auntie came in for me, and I really thank God for her.
Yes.
She told her, you know, this is her destiny.
Yes.
No one chose for you. Let her choose for herself. Roho inakulanga chenye inapenda.
Inapenda, exactly.
So just let her be.
Yes.
And my grandmother agreed. So the introduction now is here. So I also don't know my culture very well.
Oh yes.
Because we have been in Nairobi for all this time.
Yes. Yes.
So I never knew that there are some elders that will be invited in the first time that the first visit.
We were actually doing just a casual visit. We wanted to do a casual first visit.
Just to say hi. She's my friend.
Ndio sasa tujipange tukuje sasa officially na stories za wazee nini. So I think we didn't understand, both of us, that here kumbe there are things you're supposed to come with.
They didn't even tell me, you know. So me, I knew it will only be my grandfather, my grandmother.
Yani to close family.
My family members only. Watch, I see the elders, I don't even know.
They say that uncle mwenye, he'll still be the decision maker.
And all of them, they're saying this is my daughter, and you don't even know them.
But we understand. So it was a bit confusing going to, at our place. There was no issue. As she came, we had a nice time. So going to their place, they had some expectations which I was not prepared for. But it's not like I was not aware there are things that we are supposed to go with. Only that this was a casual first visit. That we went there on to be shocked that they have made it now an official first visit.
Okay, fast forward. That is like to have
so
a
kulikuwa na culture shocks more.
And you know, actually, I always say, I always tell him we are record breakers, me and him. So in my family, there have never been such a thing before. So they were even confused, you know. So I guess even the confusion itself.
So even be encouraged if you are there and you've never been married. Nobody has been married in your family. I believe with God you can break records.
I agree. You again, on a serious note, generational curses. Breaking the cycle. And I love the generation we're living in because we are able to know these things and actively work on them. And I can hear also a lot of, like you said, we inherit enemies through our parents because of what their parents did. Our parents and our elders teach us what they know because that's what they know. But now we're in a better position. And then for you to come in from 2 diverse tribes, actually 3, you're in a position to lead your children and tell them it's okay. These are the people, if again, if you are in love with this person, this is the person you need to settle down with. Everything else comes as a, I taught myself, but I will do it for my generation. You can never go wrong. So that's such a beautiful story. And I think, again, because I know we're about to wrap up, Pastor Bruce, I would love for you to talk to the young men out there in 2 aspects, courtship and intentionality. And second, failure, finding a second chance in love, especially like you, it was, you did everything. And your heart was broken to a point whereby you're thinking, you know, default setting is sit away. But you didn't give up hope. In fact, you even lost more afterwards. But then you were like, this girl, I'm going to go to her with confidence. And true enough, here she is as your wife.
So, I mean, to every young person out there, what I would love to tell them is, especially men, when a man has no vision, then there's definitely no direction and things are going to fall apart. It's important as a man to understand where you are going because it's easier for them to come in and help you go where you are going. And it's also easier to meet the right person when you are walking in purpose. That is number 1.
Vision, purpose. Okay.
To every man. In fact, I tell sisters can be lucky to get a man who has a vision already. But us men, we have no option. The sisters come in to help us pursue the vision of God in our lives. That is number 1. Number 2, character is very important.
Character.
And character, when since I'm a pastor now, we'll talk of Christ-like character. It's important to work on your personal character. You have to be intentional with your lifestyle. You can't just be a man who sleeps around. You can't be a man who you've inboxed more than 4 ladies telling them the same thing. And I know men, we are so heartless to some extent. And sometimes we just do that. We after finishing using you, we move to the next thing. And I think you have to be intentional about living right and having the right character and don't taking advantage of ladies. Because in my position as a pastor, I had many opportunities to take advantage of ladies, but I chose not to.
True.
I chose not to.
Wow.
I decided I'm going to live right.
Okay.
It is not easy, but I'm going to do it. So you must trust in God for your character to be built. You have to be a man that your children will be proud of.
Absolutely.
Your wife
Full
will
of
be
fire.
proud of.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
If today people met you, which testimony do they have about
Absolutely.
you? Yeah, so that is also another very important thing. And then number 3, you must understand the lady you will date should end up being your wife.
True.
I've seen guys inbox me, tell me, Pastor, I'm 19 years, I've been dating a girl who is 18 years, and now we have issues. So I asked that person, especially the man, where do you live?
And that's the reality.
You get, eh? That's the reality.
Yes.
They tell you, Pastor, me, I'm living with my parents.
Yes.
Number 2, what do you own? He has nothing.
Nothing.
Number 3,
School.
yeah, he's still a student,
Yes.
or you are still a student.
Yes.
I have no issue with you being a student,
Yes.
but marriage is for for responsible people. Another thing, marriage is for a man, not a boy.
Yes.
It's not.
Wow,
It's not for
that's
boys.
powerful.
You have to be a man,
Yes.
and the man ought to provide for the family.
Absolutely.
So you are not. You are not yet in a position where you are able to provide. You are able to give
protect.
guidance, protect.
Yes.
You are not even able to become a priest, and you're already in a relationship.
Yes.
So some of the young people who come to me with such, they want me to advise them. I tell them, focus on your career.
Yeah.
Focus on your life.
True.
Build up yourself. The day you will feel you are ready for marriage, start searching.
Absolutely.
So
and
don't.
it's okay to have lady friends who
sure.
you are conscious and intentional
That's true. Yeah.
about, so that you do not fall into this trap.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay to have them and all that, but
Yes.
when you choose now to go the dating way, be ready for marriage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't be impractical.
Date to marry.
Yeah.
Date to marry.
Yeah.
Handling disappointments.
Yes.
Getting your heart broken.
Yes.
How
wow.
do you rise
That's
from
also
that?
another thing.
Yes.
There's a time I was somewhere talking about how to deal with depression, and I think the biggest part of handling disappointments is how much you have equipped yourself
Absolutely.
with knowledge. Being a pastor, I would say also with the word of God from within, because if your soul and spirit and heart is not strong,
Yes.
there are things that will overrun you. Yeah,
yes, yes.
Utapata, you're not able to handle a lot of these things.
Yes.
Another thing, if you want to deal with issues, especially relationship issues, heartbreaks and all that,
Yes.
the truth is the only thing that will set you free. When I knew that this lady was not honest,
Yes.
that to some extent she just wanted cash, and another thing is
Other
that
things.
yeah,
Yes.
many
Yes.
other things that I
Yes.
knew,
Yes.
then that gave me peace.
Yes.
That I have made the right choice to come out of this relationship and I'm moving forward. So once you know the truth, it helps you to move forward
Yes.
quickly. And then the other thing is you probably don't want to rush into another relationship immediately. Take some time to
Take some
heal,
time, yes.
do other things,
Yes.
and keep trusting God. And also always be aware, if you make a mistake in marriage, even going to hell will be so easy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
very easy,
Yes.
because
Yes.
if you marry wrong, you will not pray, you will not walk in purpose,
Very
you have
true.
so much to deal with,
Yes.
and it's important for you to take time
Yes.
to marry right. And above everything else, pray. Pray. There are issues I've seen. I'm a pastor, people come to me with issues. There are issues even me as a pastor I can't handle. Only God can.
Only God can.
So it's also important to just
Yes.
pray
Yes.
when you're in such a situation and tell God to heal your heart
Yes.
and help you to forgive and move forward.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank
it's
you.
very simple,
Yeah.
straightforward, and very understandable.
Thank you.
As we wrap up,
Yeah.
Rehab, as young wife, young pastor, and I know we did not delve too much into your marriage,
Okay.
because I feel like, again, once the foundation is not correct,
Yeah.
you're bound to fail in future. It will fall. What would you tell the young girls out there who are reckless, who think they must be in a certain situation with a man,
Okay.
or who are faced by this young man who has nothing but maybe has that vision? How do you advise them on discernment? Basically, because every man will tell you their vision. Maybe it doesn't even exist, but they'll tell you that discernment, and basically dating as a young lady,
Okay.
leading into marriage.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's so unfortunate that so many ladies right now, young women, they are living, I would say it's a reckless life. And, you know, And I think in years to come, if we continue this way, we won't be having prayerful mothers.
True.
And when mothers are not praying, it means that families are getting broken.
Yes.
The nation is falling apart.
True.
So I would really insist on a prayer and getting born again,
Yes.
and also working according to the word of God.
Yes.
Because there is power in waiting. And you know, I've never seen in the Bible a woman that found a man. It is always a man that is finding
Found
the
her,
woman.
yes.
So we should be waiting to be found.
Yes.
And as you're waiting to be found, get ready to be that wife. Get ready to know yourself, love yourself first, love yourself more, so that you can be able to love the other person and accommodate them. Because
Yes.
if you cannot love yourself,
Yes.
you won't be able to extend that love to
I
the other
agree.
person.
Yes.
Yes.
And potentially to your future
Yes.
family, and also to make them learn that just because you live in the right way, that has to be boring. Because I think the price you pay from the actions is greater than the joy that you accumulate
Yes.
from leading the life right.
Yes.
So, parting shot to young couples, young people out there.
My parting shot is once you get married in the right way, focus on building the marriage together. Marriage is a journey.
Teamwork.
It's the only institution where you receive a certificate
Yes.
before attending class.
Yes.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Yes.
So it's important to realize it's work in progress.
Yes.
And to all, since I'm a man, I'll speak to my boys out here.
Yes,
To
please.
all men out here,
Yes.
there is no perfect woman.
Yes.
God gives you raw material.
Yes.
So
Go make it.
you make them to whom you want them to see. If you want,
That's what they say,
if
wife
you want,
material,
yeah.
not wife dress.
No. It's a wife material.
Yes.
So you build her to what
Yes.
you want to see. If you love your wife to be this way,
Yes.
do it. If you
Yes.
don't like how she dresses, take her to Mr. Price. Take her somewhere. Buy for her those dresses you
Yes.
want.
Yes.
If you don't like something about her, it is your duty as a man to just work on it. And then another thing is to the whole nation. We need to understand failed families, they will cause a failed state.
Wow,
The
true.
family is an important institution in any nation.
Yes.
And so it's my encouragement to every young person out there, don't rush
Yes.
into
Yes.
this thing called marriage when you are not ready. Make sure you get it right so that in the near future we are going to have prayerful mothers,
Yes.
we are going to have caring husbands, and God will bless us.
True.
Yeah.
Wow, that is, I'm in awe
Yeah.
of everything you've said. And my greatest takeaway is submission.
Yeah.
She submits to you,
Yeah.
but you also have to submit to the highest king.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's just doing it right.
That's Yes. true.
So that we're able to uphold this unit, the family,
Yeah.
which holds our nation together.
That's true.
And we must admit it's quickly
Yeah.
crumbling.
Yeah.
And I thank God for, persons like yourselves,
Thank
a
you.
young couple who look absolutely amazing,
Thank you.
doing his work,
Thank you.
living their truth, because like you said, disappointments do exist.
Yes.
I'm sure even for you, you maybe tried to date and it didn't work out
Yes.
until you met your
My husband.
other half.
Yes.
You're the better half.
Yes. Same.
All
Thank
right. Wow, I can't have put it any better with the most beautiful couple in the house tonight. That is Pastor Bruce and Pastor Rahab, or Mr. and Mrs. Mckenzie. Well, if you have any thoughts on this particular topic, please feel free to reach us on our social media pages at Y254, #TheNest. And once again, Tomoka Coffee Africa for hosting us in your beautiful facilities, for your amazing coffee. Thank you, Adoreware, for this beautiful outfit, and my amazing team tonight on The Nest. Until next time, I've been your host, Maureen Waititu. See you and have a good night.